Okay, who's calling the shots in your life? I tried to go through this lesson so many times today. Y'all just don't know we had so much going on here today. But anyway, who's calling the shots? It generally means that who's in control? Who's in control of your life? Who's making decisions? Are you making the decisions? Who making the decisions? Who directing the actions in a certain situation that you're going through? It implies that someone is the leader. Are you the leader? Are you the boss? Are you the one making the rules? Have you ever let that sink into your mind? Who's calling the shots in your life? When we look into the book of Daniel, the fourth chapter, in the 17th verse, it tells us that God rules in the affairs of men and gives it to whomever he will. So, how can God rule in this messed up world? We know this world is messed up, so much going on. How can a just, fair God, a loving God, a gracious God, be in charge of a world with so much injustice? But I'm here to tell you, he has all control. When we turn on the news and we hear so much about pain and greed and devastations, that it makes you wonder, does God really rule in the affairs of men? And if he does, I can bear to think of what happened when he does not. So it can be confusing trying to live a Christian life. On one hand, we believe that God rules, and on the other hand, we struggle with seeing human actions. We know that God is good, and even we know that good and evil still happily coexist together. So are our plans God loyal or not? There are times we need to do a gut check. We need to do it as self-examinations on ourselves. This can be something personal, and we can make the decision to trust God. You need to just pause and ask, how can I really be letting God lead? Or have I just been asking him to bless what I already what? What you decide to do. So let's be honest, for us who call ourselves Christians. It's easy to say that Jesus is Lord, but much harder for us to actually live like he is Lord. Being God lawyer isn't just about showing up to church every time the doors of the church open or checking off our morning devotionals. It's about surrendering, real surrendering. It's about dying to our time life or our timeline, like our 5 or 10 year plan that we put together, a 20-year plan that we put together, our personal blueprint that we want to see success, and say, God, I want your will no matter what that looks like. When we think back to some decisions that we have made, some of them we move forward without praying and asking God first. Others we halfway pray, but deep down we already had our mind made up. But Proverbs 3, 5, and 6 says, trust in the Lord with all your heart. Lean not to your own understanding. All your ways submit to him, and he will make your path straight. This verse doesn't say some of our heart. It says all. It does not say submit to him in a few areas. It says all of your ways. It does not say figure it out on your own. It says don't lean upon your own understanding. So the most powerful gift that God has given to human is the power to make some choices. So yes, the fact is that God does call the shots on things that go on or don't, but we still get to make choices on how we react. We can choose to what? Show kindness and turn away from doing wrong or doing wrong to another person. Or we can choose to be what? Inflicted in pain on another person for something that he or she did wrong to us. Ultimately, in spite of what curveball life throws at us, we can choose how we react. So with the Bible, I had a Bible story that I was looking at as I was studying this lesson. It was saying making the right choices. And we're going to talk about Joseph. born to aging parents, and despite by his siblings, he was thrown into a pit and left to die by his jealous brother. But later, they had a rethink and decided to rescue him from the pit, only to sell him into slavery. Joseph didn't allow the experience to make him cruel or defeated. He made the best of the circumstances in which he is now found himself as a slave. He went from son to slave to prison, and then second in command to king. And all the time, Joseph's choices was positive, true, and right. He always did the right things. But in the end, his choices opened the door for God's divine plan to be fulfilled. So God used Joseph's position as second in command to save the entire nation from dying in a famine. Now, ain't that something? You see, sometimes we think that we need to own and control every aspect of our lives. But in reality, we just need to listen. Be able to listen to God's guidance and trust his direction. In reality, God calls the shot. He calls every shot in the lives of those that he loved and those who put their trust in him. So if you went going through the past year or half of this year, trying to work out things on your own or work out your own soul salvation, paying back people for the wrong that they did to you, manipulating your way into a leadership, or using your connection to forge ahead and you fail, this sounds like a good time to try something different. Instead of worrying, trust God. Instead of manipulating, believing in other people, believe in God's promise. Instead of controlling, submit your plans to God. Instead of plotting or trying to set up a revenge against someone, allow God to make his plans come into action. And it will succeed. You spent the past 365 days, now I know you have, 365 days out of this year trying everything out on your own. And everything that you tried, it failed. It's time to align yourself to the plans that God has set for you. And when our plans align with his will, everything else will fall into place. So let's try different things this year. I know some of y'all made some New Year's resolutions and you're still not sticking to it. But trust God. He rules the world. When we begin to trust God fully, when we truly hand over every part of our lives to God, he promised to make our path straight. That doesn't mean that the path won't be rocky. That does not mean it will be easy, but it will be what? It will be straight and it will be right. So you can see when God calls the shot, nobody can